Today I want to talk about this little camera, the FUJIFILM X00VI, and how it fits into my kit as a portrait photographer. While we chat, I'll show you behind the scenes and some of the photos from a little portrait shoot I did with my friend Presley, and I'm going to share the recipe that I've been shooting nonstop on this camera for the past couple months. Come on, delete that. Yeah, like right in there, not too far. I was lucky enough to get this camera the day it came out. I was on the wait list for the X100V for almost 7 months, and then that camera was canceled and I was moved to the pre-order list for this camera. So I managed to get one day one, and I immediately fell in love with the Fuji colors and the ability to shoot JPEGs that I actually really liked. And those JPEGs were just super easy to share, so it was a great everyday carry camera for hanging out with friends and just shooting everyday life and being able to share that right away without importing everything to Capture One and editing and exporting and then sending it to friends, which I never did with my main Sony camera. Because I love this camera so much initially, the colors and just the way it feels when you're shooting with it, I kind of thought that maybe some of my more serious portrait work could be shot on this camera. And I have a video that'll pop up. I built a really small, lightweight portrait kit around this camera. And before I really got a chance to test it, all that gear was stolen, and then I got married and I had a kid, and I just haven't been able to replace that gear. So I haven't really used that kit as it was intended, but I have shot this camera as is, just with the built-in 35mm equivalent lens. And I like it. Like I said, I love the photos it puts out, but I think I'm just so used to shooting full frame that for my serious portrait work, I just like the ability to get more background separation. I like shooting on a 50mm instead of a 35. And so there's just it doesn't really fit for my more serious portrait work. But the colors and everything about this camera have really got me interested in Fujifilm, and I've been looking a lot at their GFX line, which is a medium format sensor, so it's even bigger than full frame. And I kind of think that's probably going to be the next step in my portrait photography, is this medium format. You know, they're 100 megapixel images, but they're just, it's kind of a step above shooting full frame with my 50-1.2. So I think that's where I'm going to go eventually. Those cameras are pretty pricey, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. But that's kind of where the Fuji sits in my kit now. It doesn't replace my main camera. I do still really love it as my everyday carry. I bring it on jobs and I shoot a lot of behind the scenes stuff. But for my serious portrait work and for the work I'm doing for clients, my Sony still wins. The autofocus is just so much better. Being able to switch lenses, I mean, I have some good Sony lenses. I have the 50-1.2, which is my favorite lens of all time. And yeah, the Fuji, it really just can't keep up with the Sony, but I have no regrets buying the Fuji. It really does fit well into my kit just for, I don't want to just say fun stuff. I've actually shot some jobs just with the Fuji. I don't know, it's definitely gotten me back into photography and just shooting a lot more. And now with my daughter being born, I have thousands of photos of her that I would shoot some with the Sony, but the Fuji is just so quiet. I can take photos of her sleeping. I don't know, like it definitely has a really strong place in my kit. It's just not a replacement for my main portrait kit. All that being said, these are really just my personal experiences and the way I like to shoot. Like I said, I've been shooting full frame for almost a decade now, probably more than that. And I don't know, it's just really hard for me to go back to a crop sensor. But I've seen some incredible portrait work from this camera from other photographers, and I don't dislike the images when I shoot portraits with it. It's just, if I have the choice, I'm pretty much always gonna grab my Sony gear. So this video isn't really a recommendation to go out and get this camera or to not get this camera. I do absolutely love it. It's just not a replacement for my Sony. I just kind of wanted to show off this shoot, show some photos, and share my experiences with the X100, just from my point of view as a portrait photographer. So I'm gonna leave you with the recipe that I've been shooting with for the past couple months. It's pretty neutral. It works in a ton of lighting conditions. This is one that I've tweaked, and it's kind of a mix of a few different recipes that I liked. And I've just tweaked it to my style of shooting and what I like to shoot. So I'll put that up on the screen, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.